Yes, welcome back to Poetry and Police. As you know, this is your boy Evan Blake, ex-detective corporal of police, very experienced police detective. Um, Before I go any further, big up to my subscribers. Big up, shout out to the good serving members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You know, some police may be on patrol now, some police they on foot this. Even the police in the courts, all the civil servants of Jamaica. Big up on yourself. You are the people who keep Jamaica going. This morning we're going to talk about crime, Jamaica's crime problem. And what are some of the catalysts that is causing Jamaican crime problem to escalate more and more every day? And in my opinion, I would believe it is this type of policing. You know what I mean? Because I see the type of policing that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is trying to embark upon nowadays. It's called soft policing. It's not subtle policing, but soft policing. And then how can you be doing soft policing when Jamaica is filled with hard criminals? That is what I'm saying to you. So, I mean, we're going to talk to some police officers and hear their views and their takes and, like what is happening in Jamaica and like how can we stop this escalation of crime in Jamaica? What would be some of the solutions? And what are some of the problems as it relates to crime in Jamaica? Because remember, we have experienced police who have left the organization. And like the government is saying that police officers are leaving the organization on a daily basis in droves. But the good police officers are leaving because they're not treated properly, they're not promoted, and they are seeing fighting crime as a loss. They're losing in terms of fighting crime because the type of policing that the Jamaica Constabulary Force leaders are coming with are policing that will allow crime to escalate and not de-escalate. So some people are saying the old time policing was better. Now they have more equipments. The new type of policing makes it worse. So I'm going to let a policeman now, experienced policeman who have served the Jamaica Constabulary for years, just give his opinion what he thinks about the crime situation in Jamaica right now. Yes, sir. Welcome to Poetry and Police for the first time. Go ahead. You don't have to say your name or anything like that if you don't want to, but go ahead and tell the people in Jamaica what you think about the crime situation, and if you have a recommendation on how we can slow down the crime in Jamaica, go ahead and let us know.
All right. First thing, corruption. Corruption is plaguing the society for a long period of time, right? All right. Crime itself is triggered off by corruption, as we said before. But there are some areas in the security ministry that needs to be adjusted. First thing, certain laws.
Yes, I agree with that.
Certain laws are outdated. So when you prosecute a man for an offense and then go before the court, is that the penalty is not so much for the particular offense. So most of the time, those guys get a slap on the wrist.
But not to break you, but if in recent times, since the past few months, between the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security and the Prime Minister himself, they have changed all the fines in relation to gun cases and other cases, that the fines are now higher and the imprisonment time is higher. So would you say that raising the time for a man to go to prison for a firearm and any other offense, do you believe that will be a deterrent for these people committing crime? You really think so? That a man, because he might get 25 years for gun instead of 10, he might go stop committing crime?
No, it wouldn't be so much of a deterrent. But guess what? It would be a step towards solving certain crimes. Because, first place, if you're going to give a man 300 years for an offense, like in some other countries, you think that man would want to go and do a certain crime? No, you won't. Because he's going to throw his life away.
But still, you have criminals who bypass that. They don't care, Some criminals do. All they see, is this leprechaun, The money that they are going to make, this robbery,
Yes,
that's the only thing they see.
We can't be saying he won't deter some people. We need to have it in place, just in case.
Yeah, but
yes, we need to have those stuff in place. Secondly, the crime fighters, those persons should be well paid. You can't have a system where these persons going out on a daily basis, risking their lives, and they're risking for nothing because those salaries they're getting is nothing.
I agree with that.
So that's allowing these guys to be corrupt.
Yeah, because since you speak of that, Renata Adams on a program recently was saying that because the government is not paying police officers properly, then police officers will turn to corruption. But Carla, in my sense of the whole thing, you have a whole lot of police officers out there who are not getting paid, but still they make their salary work and they do not turn to corruption. So I don't really agree that if a man is not getting paid, he will turn to corruption. A man who turns to corruption in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who turns to corruption, will turn to corruption whether his pay is good or not. Do you agree with me on that?
I agree with that, but guess what? You will always have the exception.
Yes, you will have the exception.
Have the people out there who's going to do it whether or not.
True.
But you need to have that in place.
Yes.
You need to pay a police officer good enough salary on a monthly basis. You always have exception cases where you're going to find people whether or not they're getting good money, going to take money elsewhere.
True.
We need to put stuff in place. All right. Secondly, the prison system.
Yes.
All right. We need to have more prisons. I think we need to have more prisons because the population, in terms of allowing prisoners in custody, is deplorable. That's the next thing. And I think police should also not be a part of custody of prisoners.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Police
because
should find themselves doing other police duties instead of in charge of prisons.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a very, very good point. Especially the remand center that we have by that Gun Court Remand Center.
Yeah.
Is it still police officers in charge of that place? Still working there? Yeah, because police should never be in charge of no lockups or anything like that for real.
Yep.
Police are needed on the streets. So you should have correctional officers. So you are saying that no lockup, because when they do, they use correctional officers at prisons, but lockups you use police officers. So you are saying that we should spare those police officers to work on the street and have more correctional officers working at even the lockups, which is a good point, Carla, because I respect that. And I believe that, you could have taken probably 25, 30 or 100 police who are working in the lockups or around the country and have them on the street. Yes, that's true. So you are saying that the government then is not using the manpower properly then. So that's why we are falling short of members on the streets.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
The next thing what I heard of most times, when we talk about corruption in law enforcement, we always think about policemen. Other areas in society out there, there's a lot of corruption, and no one's speaking about it.
Yeah, because
I notice.
Because
call names upon names upon names.
True, because I said that in one of my videos recently. Because every organization has corruption, not just the Jamaica Constabulary Force alone. But the thing about it, Carla. You see, most people in Jamaica do not think about police officers as human beings. That we are not a man. We are supposed to be perfect. Because if a man is downtown walking and he needs direction and he asks a policeman to find a certain place and the policeman does not know, he will say, what a foolish police like that. You're a big police and you don't know if you find Scotiabank. If he asks a regular civilian on the street and the civilian says no, he will just accept it and leave. But he's expecting the policeman to know. Just like how everybody's expecting the policeman to be 100% perfect. But we as a society have to accept the fact that nobody is perfect, including a policeman.
That's the reason why that's always designed.
Yeah, that is always designed.
Designed that way. Yes. So you can't wrong. But we are human beings, as I said before, but that's always designed. Right? So
but crime is escalated in Jamaica. What do you think is what do you think is the real problem? We know it's corruption. Jamaica is not making persons own up to their responsibility in terms of protecting the borders, because guns coming from Haiti, guns coming from the United States. And they're not putting any pressure on these guys. But when anything leave Jamaica and come to their country, Jamaica being pressured for it. So those are the stuff that Jamaican is overlooking
and not putting more emphasis on those areas that we don't make any guns. They must come in from somewhere.
Yes, but the guns are coming into Jamaica's ports, and at one point they were saying they need help from America in why the guns are coming from America. America does not care about anything that is leaving leaving their country except money. Except money. So Jamaica is responsible. The government of Jamaica, the Ministry of National Security, is responsible for stopping the stem of the flow through our ports. So, and then again, we know that the guns are coming in through the ports, and we know that the ports in Jamaica is more corrupt than the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We know that, you know?
Yep.
And
but not only that, we police don't in charge of any borders, really.
We are not.
The agency responsible for borders.
Not even immigration, we are not in charge of anymore.
Exactly. But no one talking about that.
And if you notice, you know, Jamaica is always practicing what other countries practice, but they always leave out the best things. If you notice in America, let's use America for example. You come into America, any port in America is manned by the police, you know.
No.
Most of the ports in Jamaica, in America, is manned by the police. The immigration police.
Yeah.
A police straight. They are police. They are part of the police department. In Jamaica, the immigration is not police. It's a specialized place, but it's not police. Yeah. They are not police officers. Yeah. The people who are working at the ports and the wharves, they are not police officers. So no law enforcement is in charge of any of our port of entry.
But not only that, those persons who are in charge of the ports, I think they're getting a fairly good salary.
And yet still, the ports is where most of the guns are coming through. You see, what people need to understand, you know, that these people who are carrying the guns through the ports are no normal people. You know, this is organized crime. These people are like the mob, you know. These people are very dangerous, you know. And even if these people at the ports, even sometimes they do not want to let through these guns. They have to, you know, by fear of their, not just money alone, but fear of their lives too, you know.
Jamaica is not sending no messages. Criminals always send messages.
Boy, I love that one day.
And that's one of the biggest problems we face down there.
True.
Jamaica not sending any message to criminals.
The criminals are sending the messages.
Yes, all the time. We are seeing it. And
the thing about Jamaica, what I've noticed, you know, Jamaica tends to just want to please the world in terms of how they police the country, in terms of the strenuous aspect of it, the bad man police thing. Yeah, because guess what now? All right, because guess what? They want to get rid of the hardcore police. Yep. And Jamaica is filled with nothing but hardcore criminals.
Yes.
And you know what is the next part of it, my brother? A country that is a failed country, like I consider Jamaica to be a failed state next to Somalia and next to Haiti right now, you know. A country who's a failed state, you know. Our country is failing when it comes to crime and violence. A country like that allows security companies to grow. So there will be more need for security, both residential and business security and corporate security. So everybody now have Hawkeye at them house. Everybody have security at them business place because everybody is scared. So when the whole nation is scared because of our crime problem, security companies grow. And this is one of the biggest, before you go any further, this is one of the biggest corruption in Jamaica, you know, because these security companies.
Our culture that we have there suggests that we shouldn't be informers.
Yes, that is one of the biggest cultures, yes.
Another person sees stuff and don't report it. Another person are afraid of telling stuff because the level of corruption. So those are the stuff that Jamaica needs to get rid from.
True. Because so you are saying that Jamaican people on a whole must start doing their civic duties, and they must be aware that solving the crime in the nation must not just rest on the shoulders of the police, but it starts to rest. Yes. It's not just law enforcement, but it all depends on the input of the people of the country. Yes. That they have to come in. And the thing is, you know, everybody just minding their own business. You know, when I was a young man growing up, I was living in the Kingston 13 era for sometimes. And I used to see some murder scenes. People get shot in front out a road. They say you hear gunshots. And then you went to see a man on the floor. I mean, you realize the police come on the scene. And when the police was asking questions, anybody know this man? Nobody know the man. Nobody knows the man. And yet the man is playing football with them, basketball with them on the street with them, grew up with them, went to the same school with them and everything. And yet nobody knows the man. Because guess what? Nobody wants to say anything. Everybody's minding their own business. So that is what is happening in Jamaica nowadays. And then you're going to blame the police department and the government for our crime problem. We are the citizens of Jamaica are to be blamed too, because the fight against crime has to be a joint thing between the police and the citizens of the country. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's one of the most important way in fighting crime. And what do you think about, in recent years, you have noticed that the CIB is not as active as the CIB used to be. The Jamaica Constable for this, they are trying to destroy the CIB, because the CIB used to be that right hand, of the police department, who used to capture most of the criminals. The CIB police used to know most of the criminals. The CIB police used to carry the most operations, because we know what we were looking for. But no.
Listen, I think the JCF has watered down its operation in terms of you can create a SWAT team. And when you have a SWAT team to do SWAT work, you have them doing regular patrols. Because you haven't said these guys sitting not doing anything. Their response team, you should have been having going around up and down on a daily basis. That's what.
Because they are a QR team. They're supposed to be a quick response team. They're supposed to be ready
to do crime scene, and you have them doing patrol.
True. And there's supposed to be so much of them that we can have them in every division. Exactly. So say I am at Hunts Bay CIB now, a detective, and I'm investigating a murder, and I get information that we're going for this murder suspect, or we get information so we're going for some man with some gun right now. This SWAT is supposed to be there to assist us right away.
Exactly. So most of these things are watered down.
Yeah.
The true potential not being recognized, because these persons I use these guys to do everything.
Yeah, and then hear the thing about it. This is the main thing about the whole thing. This is a situation now that we have to face, The leaders of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the senior members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, most of them, when they have reached a certain rank, they are no longer police officers to me, They are politicians now, Because everybody's looking about their political career now. Nobody responds for the crime in the country anymore, and they don't responsible for the policemen who serve under their command. So they follow orders from politicians. That is what is happening in Jamaica nowadays. That's why we can't have a good crime plan in Jamaica. That's why we can't have a good dent in a crime in Jamaica, because the senior officers in the Jamaica Constabulary Force are lining themselves with the politicians. And the whole thing lining their pockets too. So the senior officers, they are the one destroying the organization, Because you know how much time, even when I was working, my brother, and you want to go in a certain area, and as soon as you go in a certain area, you do certain kind of work, you get draft up in the soup office. Oh, yes, you come for your shot. Yes, you do this. You know what I mean? Because the politician make a phone call. One person make a phone call to the politician, and the politician make a phone call. You boy them a pressure my place. And through most of the senior officers are politically inclined. Them pressure one area and take off the police from the other area. It happens. I've seen it happen. And then if you are a police officer, is neutral, and you're going to all the area to do your work, then they hate you now and then cast you aside now, and get a promotion and all these things. And you are transferred. So, I mean, would you believe now that the Jamaican, the type of policing, that would you say that is the type of policing that is going on in Jamaica now effective? Do you believe that the type of policing that is going on in Jamaica now is effective in the fight against crime? That is my last question to you. Do you believe that the type of policing that you see in Jamaica nowadays, is it effective in the fight against crime with these type of criminals that we have nowadays?
No, it's not.
Why do you think it's not?
Because what I've outlined earlier suggested that. Okay.
No, you're right. And I mean, it's glad for you. You have made some points that me recognize and say yes, me agree with your points. And yeah, man, I'm glad you came on the show to say something. And I hope other police officers will call me now and say, yo, give me your peace, brother. Tell me what you think about the crime in Jamaica and how we can solve the crime in Jamaica. We need to build back the CIB in Jamaica. What you believe? You think so we need to build back the CIB? Let the CIB go back to the strength that the CIB was before.
Overall building.
Overall building, the CIB need to be regenerated because the leaders in the Jamaica Constabulary Force are destroying the CIB, which was the CIB was a main source in preventing and solving crimes in Jamaica. And the CIB have no teeth right here now. They have killed the CIB. So people are here, as experienced member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, having a conversation with Poetry and Police this morning, and we discussed a few topics, and hopefully the next time we come on this again, we have other police officers who will come and just play their role, state how they feel about the crime in Jamaica, and make some kind of recommendation on how Jamaica can slow down this crime situation, and even talk what is causing the crime situation in Jamaica. So we have brought a few points forward. So now that we can say that the police, the leaders of the Jamaica Constabulary Force themselves, along with the leaders, our political leaders, they are the ones who are the catalysts. And when I say catalyst, I mean, you know what a catalyst is? It speeds up or it slows down. And in this sense, our leaders are slowing down the police department in its bid to slow down the crime in Jamaica. And like the officer said clearly, the criminals are the only ones in Jamaica who are making a statement. I'm going to repeat that. I love that one day. The criminals in Jamaica are the only ones making a statement. And for me, the statement that the criminals are making is that we are in charge. We are in charge, and the police is no longer in charge. And we run the country now, not police. Jamaica is officially a criminal state. Until next time, out.